welcome to another Tonic craft kit unboxing video. This month's kit is number 32 and I think it's called the My Memory Wallet kit because the die set actually is like a mini version of the Tonic Keepsake Creator wallet die sets that came out a while ago. There's been two different versions of them and also an envelope as well, and it's along the similar theme of those die sets which I've talked about in previous videos in the past. But anyway, let's get on with the unboxing of this month's kit. So inside, let's show you this first. So ages and ages and ages ago we had an orange notebook that said Tonic on it as a freebie in the kit, and then I think we have had a Nouveau one as well. I'm pretty sure we have had a Nouveau one, but yeah, we've got another gorgeous little Nouveau notebook. I've got my other one that's open and it actually has plain paper inside, which is really nice, and it has the little grey edge. I mean, you could turn this into a little mini art journal. You could swatch all of your Nouveau products into it, especially because it says Nouveau on the front. I think that'd be really great for that kind of thing. You could actually use it as a little sketchbook. You could use it to keep your ideas for just your Tonic craft kit or just your Tonic dies in general, or for any projects that you're working on. You could just, you know, use it for whatever really. I still haven't used mine yet because I've been too precious over it, but I have another one now, so I can use this one because I've got a spare one, so that's brilliant. So we get that. And then we also get our bag of Nouveau. One of these things, it's an option, but these are all the Nouveau bits and pieces that we get in this kit. So we get a set of the alcohol markers, and this one is Emerald Seas, which was actually the set that came out in the Dream in colour trend, which was January 2019, and I don't think these came out at the same time as a lot of the other stuff was launched on Create and Craft, so you might have missed this set of them. So if you have and you collect them, this might be a set that you don't have. Not that it's bad to have duplicates of ones that you do have, because I find, you know, it's quite nice to have two of a pen, or, you know, two of a few different pens, because then you don't mind using them for different techniques. You know, sometimes you get a little bit worried that you might ruin the nib. Like for example, there's that technique of adding glitter to double-sided adhesive and then using your alcohol pens to colour the glitter, and I'm always a bit apprehensive that I'm going to mess up the nib of my pen. But if you have a duplicate, you know, you can give it a go with your old pen and keep these as your new colouring ones. So I always think it's good to have some duplicates of some colours of pens. So these are the gorgeous Emerald Seas colours. Emerald Seas colours, that's quite difficult to say. And they're called Pillow Mint, Natural Patina and Spectra Green. They're really gorgeous colours. They're supposed to slot in between the, I think it's called Aquamarine, that set, because those ones' numbers are 360, 362 and 363. Yeah, I think. Oh no, they're not. They're 360, 363, 369. So they fit in between those ones anyway. But they're a gorgeous minty colour, hence the Pillow Mint is the first one. But there's a really gorgeous minty green. If you have any eucalyptus stamped images, these are that kind of gorgeous colour. I think they would work really nice for eucalyptus. So we get those. Then we also get a full-sized Nouveau crystal drop. This one is Bubblegum Blush. This one is actually one of the first ever Nouveau drops that I got all those years ago. My first Nouveau video, first time ever using any Nouveau product, was that video that I did ages ago that was called Nouveau Embellish Cascading Butterflies, and I did a pink version of the card that I sent to Tonic, and then I filmed a green version of it, but this was one of the first ever Nouveau drops and Nouveau products that I ever got. So it's quite nice to get a new bottle of that because that's been hanging around for a long time. But this is the gorgeous Bubblegum Blush. I think I just said that, but I've forgotten. So that is the Bubblegum Blush. It's a really gorgeous pastel-y pink kind of colour, but it's really, really lovely. It is a bubblegum colour, really. So that is that. Then we also get a full-size Nouveau embellishment mousse as well, and this one is the gorgeous citrus green. It's a really lovely, bright, vibrant springtime green. It's really good spring colours in this kit, and I've opened this one because I've been using it, and you can see how gorgeously vibrant that colour is. Really lovely colour. So that's a really good addition to your stash, especially if you've never tried a Nouveau embellishment mousse before. Getting a full-size pot means you can try it in loads of different applications without worrying that you're going to run out, because these really do last a long, long time. There's loads of different ways that you can use your Nouveau embellishment mousses. I don't know if I've done a video on them actually, like an up-close one, but you can use them thickly through a stencil, you can sponge them through a stencil, you can paint with them, you can apply them with your fingers onto a background or through a stencil, you can use them to highlight images, you can braille with them, you can use them on the jelly plate. Some of my most popular videos are Nouveau embellishment mousse on the jelly plate. It works really nicely on the jelly plate, especially if you have maybe patterned papers or some of the plain colours of Craft Perfect cardstock, or maybe some inky backgrounds that have just got flat colours on them. Adding a kind of stenciled pattern using your jelly plate with an embellishment mousse is really lovely, because it just adds that bit of shimmer to your backgrounds as well. So there's loads of different ways of using this, and you can even dilute some of it into water and add it to a spray bottle, and you can actually spray with it and create your own mica mist as well. There's so many things that you can do with embellishment mousse. So we also get that. And then this one is an option. So you'll be getting one full-sized pot of confetti. It will either be the Victorian Rose Hexagons or the Rose Shell Blossoms. The Rose Shell Blossoms came out in the Blue Blossom colour trend in 2019. I'm getting confused now with all the different trends that have come out. And these must have come out in 2018. I think they could have been part of Arabian Nights, or they could have been part of the festive season. But anyway, they were with those kind of colour trends. So if you're new to Tonic, you might never have seen these Victorian Rose Hexagons. But they're both really, really gorgeous confettis. Obviously, you can see the little blossoms are smaller than the hexagons, but both work equally nicely in shaker cards, or you can do the kind of backgrounds. I've shown it a lot of times, where you add double-sided adhesive sheets to your background, and then you can sprinkle on some of this confetti and then add glitter to fill in the rest of it, or you can just actually, yeah, there is a video where I did that just with these. I don't know if I added any glitter as well, or whether I just used the rose hexagons, but there is definitely a video. I think I was using this colour and a teal colour, and it was it had a heart-shaped aperture in it, and it might have said love across it. If I remember and I can find the link to the video, I'll try and put it at the end of the video when those two videos pop up. But yeah, they're definitely really good for those kind of techniques. And if you like doing acrylic pouring and stuff, I really like sprinkling in Nouveau confetti to acrylic pours. I mean, maybe not if you're doing it for an actual painting for the wall, but when I do my little acrylic pours for card making, I really do like sprinkling in confettis or the glitters and stuff as well. So it's a choice between, or like a random selection between those two. Then let's show you the cardstock. And again, the cardstock goes perfectly with all of the colours that we've already seen. So those sort of minty and spring green kind of colours, and then the pinky tones as well. So we get 8 sheets of cardstock. There's 4 that are more greeny and 4 that are more pinky or coppery kind of colours. And I've got the names in front of me as well, so I can be accurate for you. So we have this one, which is one of the Craft Perfect textured cardstocks, and this one is called Pistachio Green, and it has that gorgeous linen texture on one side, and then it's smooth on the other side. Then we have another classic cardstock, which is Coral Pink. I really do like this colour actually. I've gone through quite a few packets of this one, and again you've got that texture on one side and then it's smooth on the other. Then you also have Mirror Card. I do love this one as well actually. I think this one came out in the Woodland Walk colour trend, and this one is called Smooth Mint. It's a really gorgeous colour. It's kind of difficult to show their satin mirror cards because you're just sort of getting weird reflections or sort of abstract stuff showing, but I think you can kind of get a gist of what the colour looks like. So that is the Smooth Mint satin mirror card. Then you also get a piece of, you get two pieces actually, of their Pearlescent card, which is double-sided, and this one is called Lime Light. Really gorgeous lime green colour. And then you also get Blushing Pink as well, which goes absolutely perfectly with the Bubblegum Pink Nouveau drop that you're getting in there as well. They are like absolute perfect match to each other. Then you're also getting this one, which is called Salmon Harlequin, which is basically a single-sided pearlescent card, but it's got that pattern stamped into it, so it's like a dotty lattice kind of design, and they're almost the exact same colour. Maybe they are actually, yeah, they're pretty much identical in colour, so they'll go really, really nicely together. Then we have a glitter cardstock. I really love it when we get a sheet of their glitter cardstock in a kit, because I'm always too mean to buy a packet of it. So getting a sheet, you're kind of like, oh, I get a whole new sheet of cardstock. And this one is called the Lucky Shamrock as well. Really, really gorgeous. Perfect for good luck cards because it's called Lucky Shamrock. Or you can just use it as little accents on your cards to add that little bit of glitter as well. And then finally we get a piece of foiled craft card, and this is the rose copper foiling onto the white craft card, and this one is called Rose Gold Triangles. I really do like this one as well. If you've seen my up close video for Designer's Choice number 6, I made a double cantilever box using this card. It's really, really gorgeous. So that is all of the cardstock from this kit. And I'll just move this out of the way. And then we've got everything that is in the little folder. So we have the die set. This is how they actually come when you get a kit. I haven't had mine in the actual packaging for quite some time. So for those of you who are new, this is how it actually comes in the kit. And you could leave them on these if you want to, depending how often you're going to use them. But the way I like to store them is putting them on a A5 piece of magnetic sheet. So this is just like a cheap magnetic sheet you can get on eBay, and then I just put them all onto that together. So I'll go through this in a second, but I wanted to show you the sticker. So you've got When You Have Nothing to Say, Create. So really lovely sticker. And then we also have the stamp set, which goes along really nicely with the kind of memory book kind of theme of the die set from the kit as well. So let me zoom in a little bit. So we've got Loving Memories and Perfect Moments, For Someone Special, XOXOXO, Our Story So Far, A Collection of Treasured Memories, A Gift, Remember When, Just For You, A Tale of True Friendship, and then you've got a couple of little heart designs in there as well. But some of these, they don't have to just be like a memory book kind of sentiment. For Someone Special and Just For You definitely can just be used on greetings cards, and I'm sure you can make some of the other ones just for greetings cards as well. I have actually filmed 2 videos so far, which I'll show you the cards of later on in the video once I've shown you the die set, but I haven't actually made a memory book because I know that Vicky's doing some samples using this kit, so I'm sure she's going to have made some marvellous memory books with it, and I thought it would be nicer to show you some inspiration of just how to use the pieces for card making as well if you're not into memory books, or you kind of are unsure whether to get the kit because you don't like making memory books, but it's quite nice to have this kind of a die set that can easily help you make a memory book. So you got it there when you want it, but you can easily use all the pieces to make your cards in the meantime before you like build up to actually wanting to make a memory book as well. So this is the full die set, and this is the main portion. So if you've watched some of my up close videos on any of the memory book collection from Tonic, you will probably recognise this kind of layout of a die where it has a big opened shape and then this sort of 4-panel of spines and then a smaller shape, because there was a set of 3 dies that were called the keepsake insert creators, that's what they were called, that came out quite some time ago, maybe over a year, maybe more than over a year, I'm not sure. Then we had that exquisite envelope, which also had this kind of mechanism in the middle, and then we also had the larger keepsake creators, I think they were called, that were really, really big. I mean, the rectangle portion on that die set, or those 2 die sets, was bigger than A5, I think. So they were really, really large ones. But this one is a really nice size. This is the kind of size I would like to make memory books, this small size, because you don't have too much to fill, and this would fit a photograph really nicely, like a 6x4 photograph. The actual, so for this whole side piece from the cutting line to the first score line, it actually measures 4 1/4 by just less than 5 1/2. So a 6x4 photograph you might have to cut down slightly, but a lot of the time these days, because your cameras don't take photographs, or your phones don't take photographs in that right 6x4 proportion, they often ask you if you want to print your photos on a different kind of size of paper, and I think that size would fit perfectly on here. Actually, I have got some photographs, one second. Okay, I can show you what I mean, because I've got some random photographs of my dog here, Lily. So this is an actual 6x4 photograph, and you can see how you would have to chop the ends off of it to get it to fit nicely. But this is one of those ones which I presume I probably took on my phone, and it asked me if I wanted to print it in a slightly different format, so that is more the size that would fit perfectly in this, which I think most places that print photos ask you if you want to print them like that, so you're not cropping parts out, because sometimes they stretch the photo bigger and then you lose parts of it. But yeah, so they sort of cut off like 1 centimetre off one edge. So your photographs would really nicely fit in here. Or if you like doing Project Life and stuff, and you get your photographs printed 3x4 inches, or if you have one of those new Polaroid cameras that print out the sort of long skinny photos, any sort of thing like that, those small kind of photos would work perfectly in these sort of memory books as well. So that is the main base, and there's multiple ways of creating a memory book, and I have tried to explain it in videos before, but I'm not that great at explaining it, so I will try and link in the description box below the video to Louise Sim's channel and Victoria's channel as well, because they're really brilliant at doing memory books, and I'll try and link to the live video that Tonic, I'm sure, will do when the kit comes out, because I'm sure Alison will have done a memory book as well, and they're all way better at memory books than I am, so I'll direct you towards them for inspiration of how to put memory books together. But there are multiple different ways of doing it. You can use these 3 different spine dies that come in this die set, and you can either like weave ribbon through them, you could weave baker's twine through them, you could weave a flat ribbon through them to help bind it all together. And the way you do it is you would cut into the 2 open sections of this, and then you don't actually. You can either cut into the 2 outer sections or the 2 inner sections, and then you fold this in half and the holes match up, and then you can use that to lace all the pages together, and you kind of have a page and then a small bit, and then you could have a small bit and then a page if you want to, if you flip it around the other way. But as I say, I'm not that great at explaining it. But one of my favourite ways of putting memory books and things together is I would cut this, but then I would trim this down in that middle score line of the spine area, and then I like to just use 3D foam. So like a roll of this Scotch stuff is the perfect width for 2 of that spine. So what I do is I just stick a full strip of that going all the way down, and then I would take this half of the page, flip it over, line that up and stick it down again, and that's how I like to create my memory books. I just find that that's the easiest way. But anyway, that's how you do the base of your memory book. But then you also have the bits and pieces to decorate it too. So this is where this set kind of lends itself just towards card making as well, because this die fits perfectly on an A6 card. It is slightly smaller, but if I get an A6 card blank, you might have to trim the card blank slightly for it to be a perfect kind of a fit. Yeah, you're going to have to take a sliver off the bottom of your card blank, but that gives you a really nice rectangle to mat and layer onto an A6 card, or even an A2 card. I think an A2 card is slightly wider and slightly shorter, so that would, you'd probably have to trim that a teeny bit as well. But as a basic shape that should fit both A6 and A2, I think it's a pretty decent size as well. So as well, actually, if you're going from card making to trying out a memory book, just think of each page on your memory book as a card front, something that you would stick on the front of your card that might help you be able to make a memory book easier without it being a really big sort of daunting thing. But yeah, so that is the main rectangle, and it has gorgeous wonky stitches. I love this wonky stitch design. If you are into your memory books and you got memory book number 3, which was the rounded corners square sort of memory book, it had a scalloped edge in it too, but it had this wonky stitching just before the scallop. I really do love that wonky stitching. So that is that piece. Then you also have the same piece here. Actually, I've got one of these cut because I didn't use it. You have this piece too, which fits perfectly in that little tab shape, but also would fit perfectly on top of your main rectangle. So for memory book making, you'd have a little pocket instantly there, or for card making, it could just be an extra panel. You could have a really messy inky background and have this panel to sort of tone down the background or something. But this also has the gorgeous wonky stitches all the way around it as well. So that is that little panel that you get too. And then you also get this gorgeous flowery kind of daisy design that goes inside it. And on one of my cards that did I use it? No, just one of them. You can also just cut the daisy piece into a card and use it as a stencil. And I was using the embellishment mousse through that to give me some daisy kind of designs onto my card as well. Or equally, you get this too, which is a separate little daisy that is practically, I think it is actually the same design that's in this background, but you get it as a verso die with the separate edge and the separate inside piece. So if you didn't want to have to fuss or worry about all of these extra pieces around this design, you could just cut this straight into a piece of white card or a scrap card and use it as a stencil as well if you wanted to. Then also in this die set you get 2 cute little tags, which tags are always useful, whether you're making even if you make like handmade things that you sell on a stall. You could use these as little price tags, or they're perfect to put inside pockets in your memory book, or to maybe as a last minute addition adding a sentiment to your card. Maybe you've got a bunch of flowers and you want to add a sentiment, you can use a little tag to do that. And then this thing is probably my favourite. This perfectly fits a gift card. So you have this little pocket with the mat and layer that has the gorgeous wonky stitching around it and matches this panel perfectly. This piece creates the perfect size pocket for a gift card. So I think that is brilliant. One of my cards, I've actually used this on the front of it, and the other card that I've done, I've actually used this spine section and this patterned portion of this to cut a little hole out to create a pop-up gift card holder for the inside of your card as well. So basically you can see here how perfectly a gift card would fit inside this pocket. You've got a lovely little bit of space around the edge so it's not too tight, but it would fit really, really nicely inside that. So that could be a pocket in a memory book and you just have a small photograph inside it. It could be a pocket in a memory book and maybe you have like your old Topgolf card in there that expired because they only last a month or something. Or maybe you had like one of those limitless cinema cards and you decided to make a little memory book of all the films that you've been to see, but your cards ran out. You could have the card inside the memory book too. Or maybe you just want to make somewhere for you to keep all of your cards safe. So you could actually make this as a practical thing to keep, and you could have one of these on each page, and you could have like your, what's it called? National insurance number and maybe your provisional license or your driving license, or you know, things like that that you want to, that you don't like want to keep in your purse but you want to know where they are. You could do some kind of system like this as well. So loads of different ways that you can use this kind of die set, either as a memory book kind of thing or just in your card making as well. And these pieces that I was saying about earlier for creating the actual spine of the memory book, I like to use these just to decorate your card as well. I've used them on one of them, but all I do is I cut these into a piece of card and then I use my paper trimmer to trim it into a rectangle, and then you've just got a cool little embellishment to go on a card, just a little strip with random wonky dots in it, or big dots, or little rectangles. And even trimming this into a strip and having it on your card, you could then weave some ribbon through it and just have that as a border on your card as well. So there really are so many different ways that you can use this die set. Sorry if I was rambling, I feel like I've been talking for ages. But I'll show you the couple of cards that I've made, and I filmed both of these, so there'll be a video on both of these, my normal sped up style videos. So I've done this one, which is quite busy for my kind of a card, but I wanted to show you how you can add the little pocket on the front of a card, and then you'd easily just put your gift card in there. I just did that so that people know when I send these to Tonic that it's a little pocket for a gift card in there. But you could make this, you could make the colour scheme work around whatever gift card that you've brought somebody, or you can even theme it to the gift card. Like if you brought them a Costa one or a Starbucks one, you could theme the whole card around coffee and stuff if you wanted to. But I just wanted to show how this is supposed to be an edge piece for the memory book, but you can use it as a top and bottom border on a card. That is a smaller rectangle behind, but you can easily put it on a larger card and build up the design. So that is the small stitched rectangle. And then I wanted to just show how easy it is to use those little flowers as well, and how perfectly they go with the border. And the foliage that I've used in here was from Tonic Craft Kit number 5. And I know that was a long time ago, so a lot of you probably don't have that kit. But any sort of little foliage that you have, if you've got any of the Susan's Garden Club dies, they've got lots of gorgeous foliage in them as well. And even just dotted around some of Tonic's other die sets, some of their dimensional ones and stuff, there's always like a rogue flower or a little spray of foliage and stuff as well. So I'm sure you've got something that you could use to add to these flowers to give them a little bit of foliage if you want to. And then I just finished the card with a little thanks sentiment strip as well. Then the other card that I did is this one. So I tried to use a lot of the Nouveau stuff. I think I managed to use everything from the kit except for maybe a couple of the cardstocks and the confetti. I didn't get a chance to use the confetti, but I have told you multiple ways of using it, and I can link to, or you can just look on my channel for other videos using the confetti as well. But I wanted to do sort of a modern funky take on this die set as well, and also do a different kind of style of a gift card holder too. So on the front of this one and on the inside as well, the panels that you'll see on the inside, I used all 3 alcohol pens, and I did a diagonal stripe on these ones. It's a horizontal stripe on the inside, but I just did the 3 colours, so the lightest, the middle, the darkest, and then I took some of the Nouveau Embellishment mousse, watered some of it down into like a watercolour paint consistency, and did some stripes going back and forth across there. I also splattered some on, and then I took this piece and scraped some of the mousse through my little homemade stencil to give the little flower design here as well. And then I used that spine piece and cut it out of the Limelight card and the Smooth Mint as well, and trimmed them into little rectangles, cut a diagonal banner for the bottom of them, and just used them as like little tags on here. Oh, and the sentiment on this one is from one of the bracelets die sets that came out a little while ago. I'm not sure I've uploaded my up close video on them as I'm filming this video, but there are 3 different ones, and the sentiments inside the middle of them are really nice for small little cards like this. And then on the inside I did the same kind of thing for the 2 panels, but I used horizontal lines, and I've also come in and stamped the Just For You. Did I do it on the front? No, I didn't. I stamped the Just For You little sentiment and the hearts and stuff as well, and I used the green colour was that pistachio colour. I think it's just called Pistachio Green. That came out in the Woodland Walk pack of ink pads, and the bluey tone is the Laguna Bay, which came out in the Sea Siren set of ink pads as well. And then I've just done all the exact same things on these ones and used that little dotted spine to be a border there as well. Then for the middle section of this one, you can see what I mean about how I've made like a little pop-up gift card. So you open the card up and the gift card is right there, and all I've done for this is I took a piece of green card, and then if I show you on the die set, so this is the pistachio green card. So I took a piece that was maybe this wide, so I had a little bit left on each side of this main spine mechanism, so I just cut that. So I've got a piece of card that's about this wide, and then that now has the spine, the 4, 5 score lines of the spine in it. Then I took this whole spine piece and I scored it and folded it on that middle score line, and then I took this portion of the pocket, so this little scalloped portion, and I placed that over the folded piece and cut that through both sides so that I had a weird little shape cut out, but it was cut on both sides, so it actually created a little hole in this whole thing. You'll see it in the video because I'm not very good at explaining, but so I did that. And then to get the actual stitching on this piece to make it match and go really nicely, I then just took this die. I flattened that whole piece back out that I'd just been that I just cut the centre portion out with that other die, and then I placed this on, maybe leaving an extra centimetre from the last score line, cut it like this, and then once I'd cut that one I moved the die up and just partially cut so that I got the final edge as well. But you'll see all of that in the sped up video as well. But I just wanted to try and explain it to you if I could. But that's how I created that little pop-up gift card in there as well, which I think is just a really fun idea, and it fits perfectly inside, like it doesn't hang out of the card, which is really nice. So I hope you enjoyed this up close, or this unboxing video I should say, looking at Tonic Craft Kit number 32. Cannot believe we're on number 32, and I think it's called My Memory Wallet die set, but the title will have the right name in it. But I just wanted to show how you definitely don't have to just use this for making memory books, and if you don't like making memory books, I think this is still a really good kit to have different bits and pieces for your card making as well. But you've also got the option to possibly make a memory book further down the line as well if you get more comfortable
or you have an occasion that you want to make one for as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye!